It's that time of the day. Welcome to my living room, or actually my dining room, as we come together and we open the Gospel of Mark. We are in Mark chapter 2, and we're beginning in verse 18. Let's start the timer and let's dive into the Word. Here we go. John chapter 2, beginning verse 18. John's disciples, that's John the Baptist's disciples, and the Pharisees were fasting. And they came and said to him, "Why do John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" And Jesus said to them, "While the bridegroom is with them, the attendants of the bridegroom cannot fast, can they? So long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. But the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in that day." Okay, so here we go. This is one of those passages where we have a conversation between the people. First question, what sticks out to you? Um, I don't know about you. A couple of things that do stick out to me is they come and Jesus uses the analogy of a wedding. Okay, we're familiar with that, and here's what he's going to do with it now. Uh, so we see John the Baptist, his disciples, and the Pharisees are fasting. This is a common religious practice. If you don't practice fasting in some form, I want to encourage you to try it sometime. You can fast from food, maybe skip lunch, or maybe you can always just say, here's something that's taken an inordinate amount of my time. Maybe you need to fast from social media. That would actually be a good thing in some of our lives. But anyway, they're fasting. They're was abstaining from food, those things. It's a religious practice. They do it to focus on God. And they come up and say, hey, guys, why do they fast and we fast, but your guys don't? Like, that's a good question here, right? So you're saying that fasting has no value, but look how Jesus answers it. He says, while the bridegroom, okay, so this we would just call this the groom. While the groom is with them, the attendants don't fast, right? This is a time of celebration, right? You go to a wedding, it's not a time of austerity, it's a time of celebration, right? Uh, you go to a wedding and there's always liberality. You want to have all those things. You got the big cake. You got this. It's not a time for fasting. It's just not. It's kind of, you see somebody who's fasting at a wedding, it's just out of place. And so that's what he's saying. That's not the place we're at. That's not the situation we're in. And so those attendants of the groom, those guys who are there to be his groomsmen, they don't fast. It's a party. They're celebrating. But look what he says. The days will come when the groom is taken away from him, and then they will fast in that day. What he's saying is, right now, while I'm here and while my disciples are here with me, they don't fast because there's a joy in being there, but I'm going to be taken away. And so in that day, they're going to fast. Now, the question that we ask next, right? What does this tell us about God? Well, I mean, there are a lot of things we could possibly pull out from here, but let's just go with kind of that low-hanging fruit first. I think this tells us that Jesus, his presence in that moment, makes this a joyous occasion. He is coming to change their entire understanding of their religious order. They have these traditions and the way things are going, and Jesus says, I'm turning that on its head. You made your tradition primary. I'm going to get back to the heart of what things are going. So Jesus is very concerned, not about the outward form, the outward appearance, but he's very concerned about the heart, what's down beneath. And he's doing a new work there. But what does this tell us about us? What does this tell us about our tendencies as human beings? I think we can look here at this and sort of say, you know what? We are very prone to go and to compare the way we practice our religion to others. Hey, why do we do this but you don't? We're very keen on making our traditions prominent. And Jesus isn't very into that. He's not okay with that. And so what does this tell us we need to do? Where is this calling us to respond? Well, let me just say, I think one of the ways that we need to sit down and take stock of our own lives is to look at the ways in which we order our lives around traditions. Are they more important the outward appearance of the traditions than the substance of walking with Jesus Christ? We always have to ask those questions because we're always tempted to do it. Because if we're not, we're going to find ourselves setting ourselves up against Jesus Christ. Now, all right, guys, I know there's so much more in this passage. I wish we could dig into it, but I encourage you, take some time, maybe later today, read back through that, start asking those questions, and keep going. All right, thanks so much for your time. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. I'll see you then.